Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new video. I know it's been a really long time and a lot has happened since the last time I made a video, but I'm back and I'm gonna make that cake video, so here it is. I wanted to start off by thanking the person who commented this. Thank you, you're on screen right now, for suggesting it, and obviously it's the most liked comment, so I'm gonna go with it. Comment basically reads, make a cake and talk about your favorite albums or more of your favorite albums. So here I am. So recently I picked out 3 albums I can talk about at length. The first one would be Frailty by Delete Zeke. Frailty was a record that I came across on Anthony Fantano's New Music Friday streams, and I was immediately hooked by the track Movies for Guys. It was a track that was so strange and ambiguous in tone that I was hooked. And then he played the song Misplace, which is pretty much an electropop banger with kind of emo undertones. And so after that, I checked out the album, obviously, and I can say that for the most part, this album is pretty much perfect. Besides maybe not having a very climactic finish, I think that the first 7 tracks are pretty much perfect, along with Kodak Moment is pretty good. After that, you get a couple of more mellow tracks along with some more glitchy cuts, but for the most part it's an incredibly solid record and definitely up there in my top 5 with records of this year. Next will be the new Snail Mail record, which I was reluctant to get into because I didn't know if it was going to live up to my expectations, and it did. It did live up to my expectations. Obviously, Single, Valentine, Ben Franklin, and Madonna are great. I'd probably like Madonna less than Ben Franklin and Valentine, but still a great song. Headlock, coming right after Ben Franklin, is an incredible cut with great lyrics, and I think the whole album really benefits from having great lyrics and every track being pretty individual. I think my favorite moments on it are definitely the ones that are heavier and more alternative rock than the more classical acoustic cuts on here. That maybe those out of all of them maybe mesh together the most, but at only 10 tracks in 32 minutes, it's definitely a good installment. Honestly, way better than Snail Mail's first release that I wasn't a huge fan of because I felt like it was a bit derivative and maybe a little bit too samey. This one feels like the pinnacle of Snail Mail. Feels the most snaily-maily out of all of them. Ending off on albums that came out this year that impressed me a lot are Let Me Do One More by Illuminati Hotties. I heard the song Pool Hopping, and I literally was like, what the hell is this? I listened to it. I really liked it. It's an incredibly animated song, along with the next track, Moo Yeah Yeah. It's also accompanied with a pretty funny music video. And the next song, Need, was stuck in my head forever, and obviously because this is a quite new album, there were no tabs on the internet on how to play it, but I learned it all by myself just by listening to it, and I was pretty proud of that accomplishment. Threaten Each Other, Capitalism was pretty good, and as well as UVVP. I think the whole album as a whole does kind of lose me a little bit at the end, but it's definitely incredibly impressive because this is all made by one person. As far as I know from what little research I did, it's all produced by the same person, and I think that's incredibly impressive, and it all sounds really great. The first thing I really noticed about it was how well produced it was. It was just really pop, it popped out. Not like it's, pop music, but it just felt very raw, but really punchy. And so that's what I like the most about that one. A couple honorable mentions. I know all these albums are from this year, and you didn't specifically say do them from this year, but another album that I was pretty impressed by was Volcanic Bird Enemy and The Voiced Concern by Lil Ugly Mane. I probably have listened to this album over 20 times at this point, and it still does not get old. It's surprisingly unique in its foundation. It's kind of these old sample driven, almost twinkly, lopsided lo-fi beats with this singer-songwriter sort of perspective on it, which I know Lil Ugly Mane isn't really known for. It ended up being surprisingly pretty introspective, and in my opinion, I really enjoyed the lyricism on it, being so kind of stream of consciousness but sort of planned out. It almost felt like poetry, the whole record. Yeah, I think that was definitely one that I listened to the most. Maybe it's not my favorite album, but I really enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm really sorry that this video took so long. Obviously, I've been really busy, and there's been a lot of things going on, and I promise there will be a whole bunch of videos coming after this, so stay tuned, and thank you for watching. Goodbye. Hold on, let me focus. Last words?
Peace and love.
Nice. Any last words?
It was gonna be satisfying for them, I think. Can you put a fart sound effect over this? Please?